More thunderstorms are rolling across Kentucky yet again, and this is all happening on soaked ground. So the flood concern still remains up there. We'll track all of it for you.
The man at the center of an extensive police search is in jail. How his family helped investigators make an arrest.
A mother accused of leading police on a chase with her child in the car faces a judge.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon to you. We are keeping an eye on showers and storms in the area this afternoon. They could put down heavy rains, and with the ground already saturated, that means the potential for flash flooding.
That's right. We're under a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day because of that threat. Let's go now to our meteorologist, Jim Caldwell. Jim?
Numerous thunderstorms, guys, have been moving through the area here over the past several hours. The ground is already saturated. We had some thunderstorms out there this weekend, but it really originates back to last week with those big waves of rain that pressed through the area. And you can still see a lot of action going on out there. First, even some going back up here in Lexington. You can see it stretching from Jacobson Park all the way back toward Commonwealth Stadium. One little pocket of some heavier rain, and then more out toward the east that stretches into Clark County as well. Another little round now working its way into Anderson County. You can see the heavy rain with it and the lightning pressing more toward the east, and will ride the Bluegrass Parkway all the way in to Lexington eventually. It'll eventually break off and head right toward us as well. So we're watching that direction. Now we work our way to the south and east with more heavy rain in place along the Hal Rogers Parkway from London, Manchester, and into Hyden. All of these areas likely impacted with some high water and, of course, with a lot of rain here recently. Storm clusters come together today and over the next few days. We have strong storm potential and heavy rains. I will track all of it coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
We're tracking breaking news out of Powell County this afternoon. Part of Highway 15 is closed because of a messy situation caused by a lightning strike.
That lightning hit a substation for the Tennessee gas pipeline, causing an oily substance to spew into the air and onto the road. WKYT's Monique Blair is live at the scene with more on the situation. Monique?
Well, Amber and Sam, I'm out here at a home on Winchester Road in Clay City where you can actually see the effect this lightning strike had out here. For one, the intense smell of oil out here. Also, if you look on the ground is actually slippery. And then over here at this woman's pool, you can actually see what looks like an oily substance covering the top of the pool. Now, this happened shortly after 2 o'clock. Officials say lightning struck a gas interchange here on Winchester Road at the former Tennessee gas plant, but now called Kinder Morgan. Officials say the lightning strike shut the power down, which in turn caused the ventilation system to turn off and stop the gas flow. At that time, some sort of oily lubricant sprayed into the air. Now, officials are trying to figure out exactly what that substance is, but they say at this time there does not appear to be a danger to the community. Crystal Reisner was home when this happened. She says the sound of it was deafening. Now she has some sort of oil all over her car, her pool, her yard, and her home. And now she's concerned for the safety of her family.
The grass will probably die with all the oil. Our kids can't even come outside because of their oil, and it stinks. So it's probably pretty toxic to even inhale.
Now, Judge Executive James Anderson is out here at the plant, which is just across the street from this home. He tells me he will talk to me, but not until he gets everything that is going on out here sorted out. For now, I'm reporting live in Clay City. Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you. And we should tell you that Highway 15 is closed about half a mile in both directions of the plant as crews continue to clean up that mess.
The Clay County man at the center of an extensive search is now in jail. Investigators say that Tim Lawson stole cars, broke into cars, even held some people hostage before his arrest on Saturday. As WKYT's Phil Pendleton shows us, family members say they try to help police catch him.
After being on the run for days, police say Tim Lawson finally found refuge at his family's home on Stable Branch Road. Relatives say he was found in this barn. Police say his stepfather stepped in when Lawson would not give himself up.
His stepfather actually hogtied him till the police got there.
Lawson was then arrested, and when being questioned said he did not remember much about his alleged crime spree of robbery, burglary, and even kidnapping.
On a methamphetamine, needing to get a fix, started stealing cars, breaking into houses on people, taking people hostage, I guess is how I'll say it.
Police say Lawson spent several nights in the woods, sometimes believing that lightning bugs were actually police coming after him.
That he actually had to physically pull his shirt over his eyes because every time he would see a lightning bug, he thought it was the police with flashlights.
Lawson now faces 9 separate charges in Clay County, including robbery, theft, burglary, and kidnapping. He was scheduled to be arraigned Monday morning.
We're still investigating a couple other crimes besides the one he's actually in jail on right now that he's been linked to.
In Clay County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Lawson is in the Clay County Jail, but he could also be facing charges out of Perry and Owsley counties as well.
She is accused of leading deputies on a chase with her 5-year-old in the car. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says 31-year-old Jamie Allen nearly hit a deputy when the chase began on Saturday. Allen tells us she can explain what happened. WKYT's Hillary Thornton talked to her about the accusations.
She is facing several charges, including attempted murder of a police officer. However, today from here inside of the Laurel County Detention Center, Jamie Allen explaining she acted that way because she felt her life was in danger.
I was running from the law because I missed the court date because I didn't want to go to jail.
Allen says she knew there was a warrant out for her arrest after missing a court date. She says she was hiding out at her boyfriend's home with her 5-year-old son.
I was at my boyfriend's residence, and his dad called the law on me to have me removed from the residence.
Around 3 o'clock Saturday morning, deputies arriving at that home the same time Allen says she decided to go to her mother's house.
Well, about the time that I was leaving the driveway, their sheriff was coming in the driveway.
Deputies say Allen actually almost hit Sergeant Larry Barrett with her vehicle as she took off with her 5-year-old. Deputies fearing the young boy was in danger, putting out this picture of the mother and son as the search intensified.
I didn't go to my mom's residence because I knew they'd be there if they was after me, so I went to another friend's to stay where I parked my car.
Deputies finding her car abandoned, then several hours later locating Allen and her 5-year-old son at a friend's house. Once making contact with her, deputies say she pulled out a knife, getting into a scuffle with them, causing injury to Sergeant Parrott.
And I just threatened that, that I threatened to hurt them or myself before I go to jail. Like I wanted to pay my way out. And then when they did come up on me, they tried to kill me.
Allen says she was not under the influence when this all started, but did have a few drinks by the time she was arrested.
In Laurel County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Allen entered a not guilty plea today on attempted murder of a police officer and wanton endangerment charges. A woman died in a crash on Interstate 75 this morning. It happened around 8 in the northbound lanes between the 2 Corbin exits in Whitley County. Investigators haven't said much about the circumstances of the crash. The woman's name has not yet been released. The Centers for Disease Control is urging pregnant women to avoid traveling to certain parts of Florida.
That warning comes after Florida health officials announced they think that 14 people now have contracted the Zika virus from mosquitoes. There were 4 last week. Don Champion has more on the new cases.
Health officials in Florida unloaded boxes of insect repellent after announcing 10 new cases of the Zika virus in the Miami area. That brings the total number to 14. The CDC is advising pregnant women not to travel to the area since Zika can cause devastating birth defects.
We're advising pregnant women not to travel to this 1-mile area north of downtown Miami, and for pregnant women who live or work in that area to do everything possible to prevent mosquito bites.
Among the new cases, 6 had no symptoms. The cases were identified because health officials have been going door to door in the same Miami neighborhood where the first 4 cases were found. Florida's governor hammered home the #1 way to prevent the mosquitoes that spread Zika from breeding.
No standing water, and then no standing water. No standing water in your house, no standing water around your house.
Federal health officials do not expect the virus to become widespread in the U.S., but they say small outbreaks are possible in nearby states, including Texas and Louisiana.
We may get some more clusters here and there. And once again, each one of those will require a very brisk, comprehensive response.
Florida is calling on the CDC to help with its mosquito control efforts. Don Champion, CBS News, Dallas.
The CDC also recommends travelers returning from affected Zika areas to use bug spray for 3 weeks to protect against spreading the virus. And women who do visit affected areas should wait up to 8 weeks before trying to get pregnant. Some groups have proposed various names for Lexington's newest high school that's being built. Their suggestions ahead.
There's one supplement that could help people recovering from a heart attack, what it is, and the benefits it holds in better living.
And rounds of thunderstorms will continue to roll through the area here this evening, keeping our flash flood concerns heightened. We'll track those chances coming up. Rains are coming together again here in parts of Lexington and especially to our south and east. More rounds of thunderstorms in those general areas. We're looking back toward the south and out toward the west here, and you can see some of the rain showing up off in the distance there, the clouds and of course the rain shaft that comes from some of those thunderstorms as well. Now, what it looks like on radar is pretty heavy as well. It's 85 degrees in Lexington because this rain, this particular batch, hasn't made it over to the thermometer at the airport. So other parts of Lexington, much cooler than that, all the way down into the low and mid 70s. But you get outside of it, much warmer. Here's where the rain is located, and you can see from Jacobson Park up to Man of War over toward Henry Clay High School there, where the pocket of heaviest rain currently hangs out, and along I-75 all the way down to the Madison County line as well. Now, let's zoom out and show you what's happening elsewhere across parts of eastern Kentucky and to our west as well, because that's going to be a zone that fires up more thunderstorms, and those will drive through the area as well. Stretches a little bit along 64 as well from Lexington there. You see the heavier rains showing up to our east. Let's get back in on this particular area, the one out now around Winchester and along 64. So good soaking rain passing through yet again. Let's move back toward the west. We're watching a thunderstorm closing in on Lawrenceburg there into Anderson County. A little gusty wind with it, but nothing to severe weather levels. Now to our south, we get into Manchester there in Clay County, and we are riding the Hal Rogers Parkway, and so is this thunderstorm, and it's going to ride it all the way in into Hyden and eventually into Hazard here with more of that heavier rain, which is exactly what you see currently taking place there. More of a moderate shower, but certainly heavier than some of the other locations. And then out to our east across Pike County. This is a flow that started today and will continue as we get into your Tuesday as well, round after round. We talk about these clusters of thunderstorms that we'll be passing through. You catch a break for a little while, mainly at night, and then we increase the chances again. It's a very stormy northwest flow. We've seen this many times this summer. Big heat ridge builds in, and thunderstorms kind of wrap around it and dive in. That's exactly what's going to happen here again, and some of those could be strong and heavy rain makers here as we move forward. 7-day forecast keeps thunderstorm chances alive. They get a little bit lower there probably late Wednesday going into Thursday, but they'll ramp up again as a frontal boundary will stop and kind of hang out again. Very similar to what we have out there right now. It's just a pattern, guys, that's locked in that keeps the storm chances alive, and they're going to keep coming at us.
It's almost like you copied it from Chris's forecast last week. No, I'm not saying you did that, but
it's very similar. It's real close.
Jim, thank you.
A live look at Lexington rush hour traffic. It is slow on Nicholasville Road. We expect that anywhere from Southland to the Circles. No surprises there. Focusing on Hamburg traffic this afternoon on the inner and outer loops of Man of War between the interstate over past Pleasant Ridge and toward Helmsdale. See slowdowns there, but really nothing significant to deal with so far in that area. Drive times to Georgetown, 15 minutes. To Paris, averaging about 20, and to Winchester, about 27 minutes right now. Now back to you in the studio.
What should Fayette County name its newest high school? The suggestion some groups have made ahead.
A man facing dozens of animal cruelty charges heads to court. We'll have more on the hearing on WKYT News at 5:30.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A Cincinnati man pled guilty this morning in a plot to attack the U.S. Capitol. During this morning's hearing, federal authorities revealed Christopher Cornell planned to carry out the attack during President Obama's 2015 State of the Union address. He'll be sentenced on October 31st. Prosecutors plan to seek the maximum sentence, which is 30 years in prison. Lexington's newest high school opens next year. While construction crews are busy working on the new building, conversations have started about what the new school should be named.
Our Sean Moody shows us the ideas being discussed.
In just about a year, the first students will walk into the new high school out here near Hamburg. There's still a whole lot to do. It's still under construction, and they still have to hire a principal. But there's one thing people are already passionate about. That's the name. When he's standing under this tree dedicated to Brenda Cowan's memory, Brad Morris thinks about how she lived her life.
She was a community organizer. She was a community leader. And that's what we want people to remember about Brenda.
She was shot and killed while responding to a call back in 2004. Brad worked alongside her. He can't think of a more fitting honor than for her name to go on that school.
I can say, okay, Brenda, we lost you, but we still remember you, and we still stand for what you stood for.
United States District Judge Joseph Hood thinks of another name.
I still like the idea of someone who's done something local that has made an impact on our city.
He and some friends want the school to be named after Coach S.T. Roach, who was instrumental in integrating Lexington schools.
Coach Roach had done more to unify the city schools than anybody we could think of.
Another group would like to see the school bring back the name of Frederick Douglass. The former Douglass School was the only school for African Americans in Fayette County for decades, and alumni said it had a legacy of high graduation rates. They say they want to keep that legacy alive. Again, the school doesn't have a principal yet. Once they do hire one, that person will meet with a committee and they'll review suggested names. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
A Facebook group started this weekend dedicated to naming the school after Cowan already has 2,000 followers on that. And you can help others just by getting your hair cut. Here's how it works. Planet Salon is holding a cut-a-thon for specialized alternatives for families and youth. Haircuts cost $20 with the money going to the organization. And the group provides support for foster care children and families.
Kids that have come to us, we see the difference that their foster parents make just by caring for them, going to their games, helping them with their homework, all those little things that as parents we take for granted, these kids haven't had, and it really makes a difference.
Plant Salon locations in Hamburg and Beaumont Center in Lexington, along with one in Frankfort, are taking part. The fundraiser goes until 8 o'clock tonight. A food pantry says that someone used produce meant for people in need to cause damage to nearby businesses. We'll show you what happened on WKYT News at 5:30.
The role fish oil can play in recovering from a heart attack and an important discovery when it comes to depression. Those stories next in Better Living. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. If you've had a heart attack, there's one over-the-counter supplement that could help with your recovery. Dr. Malika Marshall shows us the benefits of fish oil for survivors.
Jim Kelly suffered a heart attack 8 years ago.
I didn't know it was my heart. I just wasn't feeling good.
The now 80-year-old took part in a study at Brigham and Women's Hospital to see if omega-3 fatty acids from fish oil could help his heart heal.
There's a 6% improvement in the heart function and also in suppressing scarring formation in the heart muscle.
The study looked at 360 patients who got either high doses of omega-3s or placebo for 6 months after their heart attack. Researchers used MRIs to look at the hearts before and after. Heart failure is a big concern after a heart attack because the heart can change shape and function afterwards. Dr. Raymond Kwong cautions that heart attack survivors shouldn't just start taking fish oil.
The medication we used was an FDA-approved purified form of fish oil. Whether that has the same components as what one can buy as a supplement remain to be a further study.
Patients in the study didn't suffer any serious side effects. 6 months after taking the fish oil, doctors saw a significant difference in Jim's heart.
I'm terrific, like I never had a heart attack.
Jim says he feels like he can do anything and he is staying active. Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News, Boston.
The study also found the omega-3s may have some anti-inflammatory benefits for heart attack survivors. Not everyone enjoys a morning cup of coffee, and your metabolism might be to blame. A vast majority of Americans are fast metabolizers. If your metabolism is slow, drinking coffee can sometimes result in abnormal heartbeat, headache, upset stomach, and anxiety. No matter what type of metabolism you have, doctors say you should always drink coffee made through a paper filter.
Filter it through paper, that takes away the substance that raises your blood cholesterol levels. So your cholesterol levels will go up if you have a lot of coffee, if you don't have filtered coffee.
Doctors say it's also a good idea to avoid coffee within 3 hours of bedtime because it can interfere with your sleep. A new study has found possible hiding places for more than a dozen genes linked to depression. If those genes can be identified and studied, it could give clues about the biology of depression and lead to new treatment. Researchers found 15 hiding places. Each only has a small effect on the risk of developing the disorder. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.